Hey, this is Matthew, and welcome back to Nerd News Today. And on this episode, I am very excited to share with you guys the latest Diamond Select Star Wars action figure. This is the third one now. We previously looked at the other two, which was Boba Fett and Darth Maul, and I love them. I couldn't stop saying good things about them, and I was really curious to see who was going to be next. And lo and behold, all of a sudden the Disney Store drops the latest one, and that's what we're looking at today, and that is the Imperial Stormtrooper. Everybody loves a good Stormtrooper figure. It's an amazing army builder. I know Star Wars fans love to get hordes of those guys, especially their loose collectors, to really build up their dioramas. So it makes perfect sense that Diamond Select would do a Stormtrooper next. They have such an iconic look. They're very important to Star Wars toys collections in general. So yeah, I am very excited to see what Diamond Select can do with them because I was wondering when they were going to get around to them. You know, as much as I want to see other characters who have, likenesses, like I want to see a Luke and a Leia, of course, I really wanted to get me some Stormtroopers so I can start building up my armies too. So let's just dive on in right now. And first things first, let's talk about this packaging for all you mint on card collectors out there. And this packaging is really nice, actually. I really like the colors here. It's just basically very simple, black, white with a little bit of red trim on it. They're keeping it very simple, pretty classy also. Other than that, you've got an enormous window display in the front that lets you see inside the packaging and take a look at all of the accessories that this Stormtrooper has, and that's a lot of accessories that I cannot wait to get a close look at in another minute or two. On the left and the right side, you've also got a window display there, so you can take a peek at it from both sides. But the back is where it's actually really cool too, and it's not really that super fancy or anything like that, it's just very unique. And what it is it's a diagram of the Stormtrooper, as well as pictures of all of his weapons with descriptions of them in the language of Star Wars, whatever the heck it is that is. As uninformative as it is, it's just really fun. I like these kind of technical illustrations. I think it looks great and really pulls you into the world of Star Wars more so. And I like that they did that too because they're not really including any bios in these figures, and they're also not including any information on who the sculptors and designers were of this toy here. So they're trying to find a way to make this at least a little bit more visually interesting from the back, and I'm sold on it. So it's a very cool packaging, nothing too innovative, nothing really mind-blowing here, but just really nice, classic, simple, good-looking box. But of course, I am not a mint on card collector, so let's go ahead, open the blast doors in this toy and get them out, take a closer look at this Stormtrooper. All right, and here is our Diamond Select Stormtrooper now. He is ready to go. He's out in the open, standing up, looking good. And that is an important thing, by the way. He is standing, and that's cool. No base needed for him, although bases are available from Diamond Select's website if you need them. But let's just jump right on in. Normally I like to talk about likenesses in these reviews, but considering this is a character that's wearing a helmet and everything, not really so much of a likeness, as much as we're going to just discuss the accuracy of the outfit here. So does this look like a Stormtrooper? How accurate is this? Well, I'm not one to necessarily nitpick over little details like how many ridges he's supposed to have in his helmet, but I will say for my money, I'd say it's pretty damn accurate. This thing looks very good. And I feel like I'm seeing a lot of details I wouldn't normally see otherwise in a Stormtrooper figure. As far as detail goes, everything is here. All the right ridges are there. Everything is where it should be. Even all these little weird bits and pieces that I don't quite know what they do because I don't know all my Star Wars lore anymore. But yeah, no, everything is there and it looks really good. And it's also a very nice shade of white too. I know that's a weird way to put it, but it's a good looking white shade here. It's kind of like this eggshell look to it, in fact. It looks like armor. It doesn't just look like normal white paint. It looks and feels kind of like armor should look and feel. So while there's no likeness to talk about, as far as how it looks and how it feels, this thing looks good. It looks and feels like a Stormtrooper, and I think this is one of those cases too where it's like the way that Diamond does their articulation, which I guess we'll now jump into, it kind of really works to the benefit of a Stormtrooper figure because of how this armor piece usually is in the chest. You can't really put a buck like you'd have in a Marvel Legends figure. You got to have this kind of style of figure, and in that way, it almost looks very seamless. Like it looks like there's no joints even on there, even though there clearly are. So let's test out this articulation here, and we'll just go ahead and start by checking the head, and that's ball jointed, which is always good to have. Shoulders are ball jointed as well, and so are the elbows. And you've got a bicep that can swivel. The hands can move up and down and rotate. The chest piece here can move left and right as well. Very nice articulation there. Looks like the waist, the waist does move, it's just very stiff, and it's, again, hidden by that belt. That's really nice. Like, I like hidden articulation points. That's actually very cool. Legs can move very nicely too. Surprisingly, not hindered that much. Little hindrance because of the different little pockets he's got here, but not so bad. Knees are on a single joint, and ankles can move as well. Ankles can bend and rotate, so good amount of articulation there. You're not really losing any articulation because of the Stormtrooper design. That's a plus. But what really makes this Stormtrooper stand out is the sheer number of accessories that it has, and there's a lot here. I don't even know where to begin with all these, so I'm just going to go ahead and dump them all out in front of them so you can see exactly how much you're getting here. That is a lot of stuff, you guys. That's a lot of accessories right there that you can see. So let's go ahead and just kind of do them piece by piece. I guess I'll start with this one here. We got a Mouser droid. How cool is this Mouser droid? Everybody loves the Mouser droid, really. Who doesn't love the Mouser droid? Very nice design, very fun little thing that happens in the film. It's barely there, but when it's there, you can't forget it, you can't miss it. So the wheels don't move on it, of course they don't. It would be cool if they did, though. I wish they kind of did. That would be Very exciting if they did move. But otherwise, really nice sculpting, good paint job. It's not just a black paint job, there's actually some different detail in there. So, they actually put a little bit of effort into it, didn't just pop out of the mold and throw it into the package. So Mouser Droid, very cool, can't ever argue with that. We also have a bunch of different hands. In fact, that is actually 3 different hands here. So we've got a trigger finger, and I think that they're all actually trigger fingers, more or less. Yeah, they're all trigger fingers because the hands that are currently on him are just open hands. So let's go ahead now. Let's test out actually if the hands can pop off easily. And I had to do that off camera because it's kind of hard to do it with my camera in front of me. Let's see if I can do it over here maybe. But so far the answer is yes, the hands come off very easily. And we'll go ahead and pop them back in and see how easily they go in too. And presumably the answer to that will be just as easily as they came out. And yes, good to know that they are. Okay, so this hand here is kind of a makeshift trigger finger, also a makeshift just holding stuff finger. So it's kind of like a multi-purpose hand right there. And as I was doing that, you noticed that a shoulder piece fell off here, but that can just pop right back in. So no harm, no foul there. So what does our Stormtrooper do with these other hands? Well, you hold his blasters because he has a bunch of them here. So let's go ahead and try out this smaller one to start with. They come in 3 different sizes. So this would be his handgun here. Let's see if this can slide in easily. And there you go, boom. That one went in really nice and easy. So that's his first blaster. Oh, there's even a little barrel hole drilled into it. That is an unexpected detail. A lot of companies don't do that, but he actually has a hole drilled in the barrel of that blaster. That is a great detail, love that. Now let's try out his other one, which is the standard issue Stormtrooper blaster that you see. Not the pistol equivalent, I guess. This would be the one you see all of them walking around with. And yeah, same thing too, the barrel has a hole drilled into it, which is so cool. I want to see if he actually can hold it the way he's supposed to hold it though, like if he's, on duty. And it looks like he can. Yes, there you go, success. He can in fact hold it like he is just kind of posing it, or he can hold it like he's actually going to be using it. So that's good to know, man. Like that's something you always worry about with Star Wars figures, and just in general with like figures like this for soldiers. Like, can they actually hold their guns the right way? And more or less you can. You can definitely get away with this. This works, and that looks good too. That's a Stormtrooper right there. And then last but not least, we have the big gun. We have an enormous one here. This one's very cool looking, and you might be wondering, does that tripod leg actually kick out, and is it functional? The answer is sadly no. This is all one stationary solid piece here, but wishful thinking. Maybe one day we'll actually get an articulated blaster like this though from Diamond Select. But actually, before I pop that out, I want to show you guys another accessory. That's the last accessory to discuss. So let me go ahead and I'm going to actually pop this gun out. We'll put it here in this almost hidden accessory, if you will, but it's a little holster for his blaster. I'm not sure if it's actually meant for this one or the smaller one. Let's see. I mean, as of right now, it's not doing much of anything, so I'm pretty sure it's meant for this, but it's very, very tight and very stiff. I think it needs to be heated up. I don't want to risk it right now trying to shove it in there and breaking it, so I'm not going to. But I will go ahead and get the gun in. And, the fact of the matter is the guns have been going in, or the blasters, I should say, have been going into their hands very easily so far. So, well, maybe I just spoke too soon. But the blasters have been going in, for the most part, fairly easily, so that puts confidence in me that that holster should also function the way it's meant to be, and you should also be able to get your stuff in there too. So let's go ahead and see if I can get this other hand around the rest of the barrel. And there you go. Yeah, I will take that. I think that's an acceptable way to hold this blaster here. Maybe a little bit higher up might work, but the fact is, again, he is holding it. And you can also see that, again, he has a hole drilled in the barrel of that. So the question is, why does our Stormtrooper have a hole in his barrel? Because we have one last accessory, and that would be this right here, this blaster effect, which should, in fact, go into this hole. And with a little bit of work, it does. And the reason I say it took a little bit of work is because all the holes have never actually had anything in them yet, so it's going to require a little bit more effort. But yeah, this blast effect that you see right here goes in all of the guns because they all have that same open barrel, and that's great. So yeah, right now it's looking a little funny, but this is movable, it's articulated, and there you go. You can get it in the position it's supposed to be in. So 3 different blasters and a blaster effect for each one of them. So that's great, and that gives you a lot of options, especially if you are buying in bulk to create an army. Now, I mentioned our Stormtrooper is the 3rd of the Star Wars figures to come out. Here are the other 2, and that would include this Darth Maul here from Episode 1, and a Boba Fett from The Empire Strikes Back. Or this actually might be a Return of the Jedi version. I'm not actually quite sure which one it's from. I don't remember anymore, but it's a Boba Fett. So there you go. That is how they're going to look all side by side to get a nice close-up of everybody's portraits right here. The likenesses look great in all these toys. And I just wanted to show you guys also how these look together because they're looking good as a unit. I mean, look at all the great detail on all 3 of these figures here. And all pretty different styles, too. I mean, you're getting a different bunch of things here. You got some armor, some fabric, a likeness, some effects happening, some painting effects, I should say. These guys are looking very good together. It's a shame there's only 3 right now still. And I'm deeply anticipating when they start releasing more. especially because we haven't really gotten any of our key characters yet, like no Luke, no Han, no Leia, no Chewie. There's a lot of characters they could do that they haven't done yet, and so far we've mostly gotten supporting characters. But you're not going to hear complaints from me because all three of these figures look amazing. So really, can you argue about them? Because damn, these things look good. Now, an important point too, these are not Star Wars Black figures, and they do not scale up with Star Wars Black figures either. Case in point, this is a Marvel Legends. This would be the scale they would be in for the Star Wars Black series, and yeah, these Diamond Select figures are about an inch taller, roughly. So they're not going to really fit in. They're not going to fit in at all, actually. Maybe like your Chewbacca could get away with it if they ever made a Chewbacca, but otherwise, these characters are noticeably bigger, so yeah, not going to ever work. Although X-Man did just take out Boba Fett, so maybe it will. So final thoughts on this Stormtrooper here. Very good figure. Really no complaints at all. I have nothing bad to say about it. The thing is, it is a fairly plain figure, so it's easy to do. It really shouldn't have anything that difficult to make, but it's what you do with the simplicity that kind of makes it great. And in this case, it's got a ton of accessories that will help it stand out. And more so, those accessories are important for any army builders out there who really want to start buffing up their Diamond Select Star Wars collection. We don't quite know how long this series is going to last, how far it's going to go, and who else is going to be in it. But I think this is going to be going out, but I think this series is going to last for quite some time, and that's going to give us the opportunity to get a lot of characters, and you're going to want to probably have some Stormtroopers to have on deck to handle whatever Rebel Alliance soldiers are going to have coming at you too. So the fact that you get multiple hands as well as multiple weapons means that you could have a bunch of different troopers that are all looking different, all different positions, using different tools. There's a lot of options here if you're going to use these guys for any figure photography. I'd love to see some battle damage versions too, perhaps. And really, since they've already got the Stormtrooper mold out, that means you could probably get a Sand Trooper at some point too, and potentially maybe there's going to be other troopers as well that we see, which means more army building. But as far as the figure goes too, it's got excellent paint, it's got really great attention to detail, very solid articulation, and it's got a Mouser droid, which of course is always really cool, and it has that blaster effect, which I really appreciate. I think that helps it stand out even more. And again, going back to figure photography and building armies, you could have some of your soldiers shooting and some of them not shooting. And again, that is a very cool feature to think about. So this Stormtrooper, I think, is a must-buy if you're a Star Wars fan, especially if you're buying this scale, which I am now. I'm definitely into this scale. I like having them in the size. That means they're also compatible with McFarlane figures too. It's a whole brave new world of Star Wars toys out there, and I think this is going to be one you really want to get in on. So that's our look at the Diamond Select Star Wars Stormtrooper, which is a Disney Store exclusive, I believe. So if you want that figure, you got to go to Disney Store and get it before it sells out. And mark my words, it will sell out. And if you think you're going to want to start building your army, you better start buying this one in bulk immediately too. So until next time, I'm Matthew. This has been Nerd News Today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys here later. And remember, may the Force be with you.